freedom to mount the shock vertically, and the benefit of a vertically mounted shock, you don't have to have such a big, heavy spring rate. So the predecessor, the shock was at an angle, and with that angle, we had to run 95 Newton meter, really heavy spring. Now we have a 65 Newton meter spring, so the tire's not doing as much work. But really the magic here is the freedom to mount the shock at any angle we want is based off of having an underslung, not race inspired, but a true full-on racing swing arm. So with the bracing down here, there's an axis, there's a point in between the rear shock and the lowest point of the bracing. There's an axis point in the middle that when you're sitting on the bike and as you're accelerating, the lateral force on the predecessor, the lateral force went across the axle and out the back of the tire, based off of, again, the bracing being on top, the shock angle, there's a point in between, that's where the lateral force, so when you were leaned over, as you accelerated, it started to push you out of the corner. Now, the lateral force between this point and this point, there's somewhere in between. When you're sitting on the bike, you start to squeeze the trigger, the lateral force is in front of the rear axle, which means as you're leaned over, here's the lateral force now versus the predecessor, it actually helps keep you in the corner. So even fundamentally, let's say riders tend to sit maybe Shriner style, a little high, right? Because they don't understand the difference in regards to gyroscopic effect. We ride for this, right? Hopefully not for this. You're gonna have a lot of this, okay, if you start riding outside your skill set. But ultimately, the beauty of the whole package is, no matter where you are in your walk and riding, the craft. I don't like to use the word suck, I don't like to use the word slow. If you only understand 30% of the craft of riding, that's all you understand. And how do you grow and get better? How do you go 40, 50, 60%? And that is having a platform and a package that allows you to grow, okay? That is so seamless and progressive and linear and smooth, so you don't get too much feedback that makes you want to do this. It makes you grab the bars too tight, right? So real quick in closing.
I had a question.
Yep.
What do you say about to the riders that say, oh, if you're going to learn to ride, you should learn to ride without electronics first, and then, because with electronics, you kind of overcompensate and make it a worse rider?
That's a good question. That's a really good question, because that's where a lot of people start having confidence. How about this? Is it really in-depth question? It's a very good question, but again, my caveman mind and the way that I approach it is, it's all quiet right here before you hit the ground. So when you have a system that makes up for lack of perspective and comprehension, because this connected to this is, that's the difference between running out of skill, okay? I mean, let's go how we see it. We're humans. We have a roller coaster here. We want to fill our own cup, but can you really do it safely and proficiently? So we have systems in place to answer your question as you're learning the ride. You gotta harness the emotion, right? We're all emotional. Don't say you're not, because that's why we ride. The beauty of it is the new 6-axis lean angle sensor. So let's call it how we see it. Low traction environment. It's cold. It's January. It's Houston, but you just gotta ride. So you're excited, right? Well, the tires are cold. You're cold because you might not have been riding for a while, because it's not summertime or spring or fall. The beauty of this system is in rain mode. We'll just use rain for example. You're going to tell the all-new 2020RR that you're in a low-traction environment. Your first layer of insurance and your first line of defense is the throttle control. So when you push the button, you tell the all-new 2020RR that you're in a low-traction environment. Today, it's perfect traction environment, but why would you ride in rain mode? To learn the system. There's nothing wrong with that. Or you're a lesser skilled rider, a newer rider, and you risk reward, right? There's so much more reward with the all-new RR, because in rain mode, let's say newer riders, they tend to, right? Well, the system already knows that it's in a low traction environment mode, so smooth. So you can rock the throttle literally, even on a small part of the tire, big lean angle, it barely moves your body. The stepper motors feed it in and out so it doesn't upset the contact pads. That's your first layer of insurance. Second layer is this, the wheel speed sensors. So the wheel speed sensors are waiting for inconsistencies in the wheel speed. Why would the rear wheel go slower than the front? Anybody? It's off the ground. Why is it off the ground? Because somebody pulled out in front of you. Or you grabbed a little bit too much, transferred the weight to the front end, it will literally release pressure through the master cylinder, through the system, and set itself down. It won't flip forward, okay? Same with the front wheel speed sensor. If it's going slower, it virtually in rain mode, literally, we could go to that patch of grass out there and dump the clutch on the grass at 10,000 RPMs. It doesn't make much sense, does it? Literally, stay in it. Once it senses the inconsistency, you can watch each spoke turn. It won't spin, literally. But what I love the most about the package is the lean angle sensor, which is on the predecessor, which is on each generation of the RR, from 0 to 37° of lean. It's waiting for inconsistencies. If it doesn't sense any inconsistencies in the wheel speed sensors, at 38° of lean, the traction control light, the DTC, will start to pulse. It won't give any power out the output shaft till it gets back to 37° of lean, so you don't run out of skill. So literally what happens though is there's 3 stages to owning a RR, and that is comprehension. Before you put your helmet on, try to comprehend the system the best that you can, so that once the helmet's on, you minimize multitasking. What did that bald guy say? You know, I think don't let things rent space in your head. The third, so second is trusting. Now you got to trust the system. And then the third is manipulation. Now you use it to your advantage. So now you got both eyes open and you start doing it on purpose, and you're getting away with things that your heroes do on TV because of the lean angle sensor. You have that safety net. So to get back to your question, why should riders feel analog first? Truly, the electronics are just going to be that safety net to allow you to start dialing them down. Less support, more rider. But once you realize, hey, you're at a threshold where it's a little too live for me, I'm going to go back. You're not any less of a rider. You are not any less. I get it. It's a big measuring contest, right? We're guys. We're going to ride. No, calm. Because once you learn the system and use it to your advantage, right, and your periphery's wide open, the shift assist, you're not doing all this underneath you. When you're looking forward and you only see that much, why? Because you put your helmet on. Common sense goes out the window. But when you can minimize everything going on underneath you, literally add 2, 3, 4 feet of asphalt to the side of your favorite road. Because, again, the whole system, the whole package overall is about rideability. With rideability comes speed. So it's very simple. This is the M package. So the M package consists of a really grippy, feel the rear seat, Now push on this, push on that. Feel the traction? Yeah. So the M seat is more developed for performance, for the track. So when you squeeze the trigger, that you don't slide back in the seat. Also the foam is firmer, so you're not sitting down in a valley. You have more freedom to move around on the bike. And then from there you have the lightweight lithium ion race battery in the M package, but really the M package isn't just Gucci, you know, motorsports colors. It's the carbon wheels off of the exclusive BMW HP4 race. So when you have carbon fiber wheels that have a factory warranty and unbelievably light, that's what makes the M package worth everything. Obviously the 6.5 TFT, so you get the display, you get the pro riding modes, you get the adjustable chassis kit, which again, the versatility is unbelievable. So in general, guys, that's what we're here for at Team Mancuso Power Sports in Houston. You have the ability to sit on this. We have 2 demos outside, and that was interesting to get those here because we have a little bit of a delay. But to keep the hype up, keep you guys excited, we have 2 out there that you guys can ride. And other than that, any questions?
How much lighter are the, so on my 2016, I had the HP4 wheels on it. How much lighter are the carbon fibers?
Well, significantly once they're actually rolling. The hard number, I knew you were going to give me a tough question, but ultimately the hard numbers and the data between the weight savings, ultimately you'll see. It's you already rode the Force wheel in 2020.
Yeah, that's great.
But overall, I mean, just the engine alone is 4 kilos lighter. Just the engine alone. But where did we take that lightweight and put it though? A lot of rotating mass that's lighter. So that's what makes the whole package Ergonomically, yes. You feel like the bars are high. You actually sit in the bike a little bit more so that you feel more connected, but it's 30 millimeter narrow. So on the predecessor, when you literally have your elbows in and you start to push your legs out because of the tank being wide, versus now, bring your legs in and push your arms out. That's a nice feel. It's a lot more. And I'll wrap it up with this. I've been fortunate to be involved with this brand for a long time. I'm very proud to represent a brand that wants to grow the riding community by keeping people off the ground. But the all-new 2020, it makes me really want to ride on the street more. I know I spent, pretty much most of my career racing, but now to get back to my roots, where everybody starts, bike nights, track days, the whole platform is even more enjoyable now. It's 40% less effort. There's so much trickle down from this amazing unicorn over here. What's the biggest trickle down? Adjustable engine braking. Now with the pro riding modes, you can actually go in and adjust engine braking. You can go in and adjust the DTC, which we've always had adjustable DTC, but the DTC, the dynamic traction control, is even closer, pretty much virtually from the HP4 race. So, cool. I'm here all day. I look forward to just answering any question I can.
Thank you.